Assalamualaikum, dear students. Let's start our lecture on psycholinguistics, the scientific study of the human mind and its function. They are the areas which are dealt in psycholinguistics. The functions are mind and its functions are those functions which affect the behavior. In psycholinguistics, language in the mind is the area which is covered. So it is related with the language and the mind. Language and the mind. It is important to note that in linguistics we study language, but we study it at two levels: micro level and macro level. At micro level, you were reading about the phonetics and phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics. These were the study that were concerned with the aspects of language that were at smaller level, at the level of the structure of language. Whereas in macro linguistics we study the bigger areas of language, we study the larger domain of language. So if you are going to study language, language is psycholinguistics is the study where we learn about the psychology of language. It is concerned with discovering the physiological processes that make it possible for humans to acquire and use language. Psycholinguistics is the study of human language, language comprehension, language production, and language acquisition. So if you are going to learn about language in the brain, language in the brain and language in the mind, you must know that there is a clear cut difference between language, mind and brain. So mind is something that is inside the brain. Mind is non-physical part, and brain is the physical part. Brain is the physical part, and mind is something that is not concrete. Brain is something that is concrete. You can know the difference between the two with the help of the analogy of home and house. Home is something that is not physical, it is a kind of feeling. Just like that, mind is also not physical, it is just like it is only a kind of feeling. Whereas the physical part of the same phenomena is called brain. Brain consists of millions of neurons, just like the concept of house, which is concrete concept, which is a solid concept, which we can touch. So we can see, we can touch, and we can feel. So brain is the physical entity. So brain has two parts. When we come to language, we know that brain has two parts. What is brain? Brain has two parts: left brain hemisphere and right brain hemisphere. Although each right brain hemisphere, you can see here in the slide that although each hemisphere appear to be a mirror image of the other, they exhibit correlated control of function. Both have specific function. Their functions are correlated and they control. The left brain hemisphere controls the right side of the body, and the right brain hemisphere controls the left side of the body. And you can see also here that left brain hemisphere is the language part of the brain, language part of the brain. And it is also a worth mentioning fact that language in the mind that is not physical is psycholinguistics. Language in the brain which is physical is neurolinguistics. So psycholinguistics is language in the brain, language in the mind. It is about the it is mostly theoretical. Linguistics structures such as phoneme, morphemes are covered here. And we can also know that perception, memory, cognition, learning, and motivations are the areas that are discussed in psycholinguistics, while neurolinguistics is related with the neurons. Neurolinguistics is related with the neurons. Neurons are specified cells of the nervous system that they are the specified cells of the nervous system that transmit signals throughout the body. They can do many kinds of functions, both external and internal, and they can prevent and also direct different kind of actions. So language in the brain, that is neurolinguistics, is concerned with the physiological processes. There are empirical neurological structures of neurons are covered here. Use of technology, aphasia, brain imaging, electrophysical, and computer modeling. So you can see that the study of neurolinguistics is concrete and solid, whereas the study of psycholinguistics is mostly theoretical. So we can go ahead and we can see here that when you will look at the Broca left brain hemisphere, you can see here that Paul Broca was a French surgeon and physician, anatomist, and anthropologist who in 1861 discovered Broca area in the left, that is in the left brain hemisphere, and he said that it serves a vital role in the generation of articulate speech. Wernicke area was discovered in another area that is here. It is Wernicke area. It was discovered in 1874 by German neurologist Karl Wernicke. So you can go ahead and you can see here, if you will know that here both are described here. For example, here you can see at the image, and you can see his Broca area plays primary role in the creation of program of spoken production as well as phonetic, phonological, syntactic, and semantic aspects of language. Moreover, it enables the adoption of grammatical rules. And Broca area is related with the articulation of sounds, and it is, if this area is damaged, we will have hamper, we will have some problem in the speech, whereas listening, reception, understanding, and comprehension is here. So if you will go ahead and you can see here that Wernicke area is also the region of the brain, that part that is here. It is also that contains motor neurons involved in the comprehension of speech. One is related with the production of speech, Broca area, whereas Wernicke area is related with the comprehension of speech. You can understand speech with the help of it. This area was first described in 1874 by German neurologist Karl Wernicke. The Wernicke area is located in the posterior third of the upper temporal convolution of the left hemisphere of the brain. It is typically there in the cerebral hemisphere near the junction between the temporal and parietal lobes. It was named after the person who first introduced it, namely Karl Wernicke, who reported particularly Karl Wernicke reported that damage to this kind results in inability to produce speech. You can have some problem in the production of speech. Although a person can produce a speech, but the speech seems to be meaningless. Then as you can go ahead, you can see that when such patients who suffer such kinds of aphasia, yeah, speech hammering, they also suffer in their ability to understand. Wernicke proposed a model for language that involves both the region. He discovered and as compared to Broca area is thought to play a role in the speech production, and Wernicke model area creates plans or programs for meaningful speech, while Broca area is responsible for taking those plans and determining the movement, particularly the movement of tongue and mouth. So you can see here both are important. One is related with the production of speech, another is related with the production of speech. So psycholinguistics, as you can see here, is related with the psycholinguistics is the related with the production, and is psycholinguistics is related with the production and the mind mechanism of speech in the mind. You can see here the psycholinguistics and neurolinguistics are interrelated disciplines, but one is solid and another is not so solid. One is related with the memory and recognition and many other aspects, whereas another is related with the brain imaging, electrophysiology, and many others. So in psycholinguistics, you know about the brain mechanism, you can know about the mind mechanism, and both are important in their own place. So dear students, listen to this lecture and try to understand the mechanism behind the speech production and speech comprehension, and how mind works in the context of language learning.